everybody, and welcome to the Fortress of Comic News, episode 82. I am one of your hosts, Chris, alongside my other host.
It's me, Mike, the other host. Hi.
What's going on, Mike?
I almost wasn't going to be here today. I'm glad I made it. Traveling for work is not very glamorous, so spent all day yesterday driving home from DC because that's where I got stuck. Because people suck. It would turn this is not about comics at all, but it really turned into like a Lord of the Flies moment where like we're all sitting around the flight like is delayed 2 hours because we needed a flight attendant. We're waiting for them to get there, and all these people are coming up with these crazy theories like, oh, they probably called in sick, they're probably not going to show up, and this poor girl's like waiting outside at TSA because the airport's closed and there's nobody to check her into the airport. Like that's the reason she wasn't there yet. And like this lady's like taking charge, like telling all the airport people how to do their job, and I'm just like, lady, you're not special. Can you just like sit down, please? Like everybody's like, well, what are you guys gonna do about this? It's like they're gonna take care of it. Just like sit down and shut up. Like none of you are special. It's just oh man, it really just grinds my gears. Anyways, sorry.
No, it really grinds my gears.
Here we are. So I didn't read my comics for this week, but we haven't even talked about last week's comics, so we'll talk about that.
So while Mike was stuck in the airport, I was busy cracking teeth. So I am in excruciating pain. So I'm sorry if my level is down this week. I will try my best. But everybody, remember,
like he's sitting there like ha ha ha
ha ha ha ha ha. Everybody remember this week on the 16th, that is this Thursday, if you're listening to this when it drops, I will be on Comic Book Rundown for a few episodes, so make sure to check those guys out.
Check them out.
My episode.
Check them out. So we're in pretty rough shape this episode. That's all I'm really going to say about that. There's some news to talk about. We won't let Chris sit here all day in excruciating pain. And have to talk to me. But so those rumors of Batwoman coming to CW were true. Ruby Rose is casted as Batwoman. Personally, I think Ruby Rose is a terrible actress. But it's the CW where, hey, everybody starts off as a terrible actor and you put them in enough seasons of something and they finally figure it out eventually. I think like those first seasons of Arrow where it was not the best acting, right? Same thing for Flash, but it's, hey, you put him in a Batwoman suit, I won't care either way. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I the only thing I know her from is from her little arc on Orange is the New Black, and she was okay there. I don't know.
John Wick 2?
I still haven't seen John Wick 1. Oh, I've seen the first half an hour of John Wick 1.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm sorry, everybody. This just keeps getting worse and worse.
I do it strictly just to piss you off.
Of course.
Yeah, it's... they're trying to cast a lesbian character with a lesbian, and I don't know. She's not a good actress.
Yeah, that's why they made her character deaf in John Wick. And even then, like her sign language expressions, I was like, how can you be bad at acting when all you're doing is making facial expressions? Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so it's kind of like, I don't know. It's weird. I think it's part of the whole problem with how Hollywood's acting or reacting to stuff right now. But we won't get too far into that. I just hope it ends up better than I'm expecting. She is going to show up in kind of the crossover event and then have like a mini season after that. So fingers crossed, it's good. I'm also interested to see what she looks like with long red hair.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Maybe she just puts on a wig like with the mask. They've never done that. Maybe because I feel like when you're Batwoman, when you have long red hair and just a mask on. I'm sure there's like, a handful of women with that bright red hair walking around Gotham. Like, It might make sense if she just puts a wig on too.
I do want to ask one thing out of CW. They are notorious for having awful wig jobs. It is very obvious that you're going to have to put a wig on this woman because she has a Justin Bieber haircut.
Oh, God, it's going to be awful.
Please invest money in that wig. Because if I have to look at a terrible wig every episode, I'm going to be...
Oh, I remember those are like they finally got it right. Like last season, they finally they got the wig to look okay. Oh man. Okay, so also there was like some leakage on the internet about the new Flash costume that he's getting for next season, and a lot of people were like shitting on it. And even Grant Gustin released a statement saying like the first thing that's noticeable about it, they took the chin strap away, so no more chin strap, just a mask. Second thing is it's not leather anymore; it's mostly like cloth fabric, which I don't know how I feel about that yet. But like Grant Gustin said, like this is a not a very good picture of it, blah blah blah. And then he started talking about body shaming and how he's getting body shamed and all this stuff, and I felt kind of bad. But we'll see how the costume turns out. It's cool that they took the chin strap away. They're going for more of the classic comic book look.
Yeah, so I had not seen this until this exact moment. The body shaming thing, like, I'm taking a hard thing on this. I've done videos on this on our YouTube channel. If you're one of these people going online body shaming them, fuck you.
Yeah.
But
yeah, tell him, Chris, get him.
Yeah, I'm so sick of that. Like,
yeah.
But the suit looks. I mean, yeah, you can tell it's cloth instead of that leather look, and I definitely agree. Like the chin strap, not having it is shocking at first.
Yeah, but it's not terrible.
But yeah, we'll get used to it. It kind of looks more like closer to what they do with Captain America in the movies, so maybe we'll see. It looks okay in the still. It's not a great picture, but I'm sure when it gets moving, we'll see something cool.
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm still gonna be watching Flash either way. So, we have Samantha Morton cast as Whisper in The Walking Dead. She was like a side character in Fantastic Beasts and in our Minority Report.
Yeah.
So I guess she'll be the Alpha, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah. She fits the look, so
yeah,
it's good casting, and I'm excited to see the Whisperers come in. So,
yeah. So the TV. How close are you to be caught up with Preacher there, buddy boy?
I'm an episode behind, so I didn't see the last week's episode yet.
So you got a taste of the Allfather though.
Got a good taste of the Allfather. I got, and he's awesome. He looks so perfect and disgusting, and I love it every second of it. I love the moments with the descendant of Jesus. Like that was always my favorite part of the comic. Yeah, and seeing it on the TV screen, just, like the moment where he's dancing for the Allfather, just had me laughing, cracking up in my room.
It was so great. Yeah, there's so many good moments, and then you got to see the Duke. They actually did the whole John Wayne thing.
Yes,
that was amazing.
And then the whole sequence of him in the coffin, him getting out, was really cool. Like this season's been awesome. Yeah,
it's been perfect. I'm so glad they did the John Wayne thing, and the guy, whoever they had playing John Wayne, it was like, I don't know if someone was like imitating his voice too. I mean, it was perfect. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was surprised at how well that went.
Yeah. I started watching Twin Peaks just because I heard there's a new season out of it too. It's really weird, in a good way though. So about halfway through the first season, I really like it. It's really disturbing at some points. Basically, like a murder happens in this like town, and it's really freaky. And I actually heard people talking about it in the comic book shop. and how there's a log lady, and there really is a log lady. Like, she carries a pet log and talks to it. So it's kind of like Plank from Ed, Edd n Eddy.
See, my mind went to log, log. Everybody loves the log, log, log. It's better than bad. It's good.
Wow. I don't even know what that is.
Ren and Stimpy, man.
Oh, man. Yeah. Okay. I don't remember a lot about Ren and Stimpy. I just remember it being extremely weird and wrong all at the same time.
The two things I remember from Ren and Stimpy are that song and the board game Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence.
Wow. Yes, I remember that. The only scene I ever remember from Ren and Stimpy is like, I think it's like Stimpy or someone shaves their pubes and just leaves the hair all over the toilet.
See, the Don't Whiz on the Electric Fence is stuck in my brain forever because I remember watching that with my father. And then my father telling me about how he whizzed on an electric fence as a kid. And it was a cattle fence.
Oh, God. Wow. Yeah, don't ever do that.
Yeah. It sounded like a bad time, but so that's stuck in my brain for all of eternity.
There's like, if you're peeing on a cattle electric fence, that usually means there's a whole farm for you to pee on, a whole open field for you to whiz. Why do you gotta pick the electric fence? Oh, man. Anyways, okay, movie news. Jared Stern's working on a Wonder Pets movie and will be directing it, which is awesome. Jared Stern has a hand in the Lego movies.
The second and third Lego movie.
Yeah, second and third. So Lego Batman
and Ninjago.
And the new Ninjago. Yeah. So that's exciting. I mean, come on. We're going to see Plastic Man's parakeet, maybe?
Yeah. It's super exciting, too, because Ninjago, I really enjoyed, even though I don't care for Ninjago.
Yeah.
But when you look at the Batman one, look at all, like, either they did a ton of research or they know their DC because they pulled out just so many obscure villains for that opening sequence.
Oh, I know. Or they just listened to the podcast and they made a list.
I mean, if they did, just give me a call. I'll help you out.
We'll help you out. Codpiece 2019. It's happening.
Bringing it back.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, especially like what you said, how they handled the Lego Batman movie, all the references. They just get it, man. It's going to be great. What?
Mike, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey everybody, Chris here. Quick interruption of the podcast. Please, if you have any comic needs, any of the books that we talked about today you want to pick up, you have any supplies you need to pick up, go to the link down below in the description of this video and or podcast audio feed and click on my link for mycomicshop.com. Great service. They deliver everything straight to your home, weekly auctions. They have all the supplies you need, all the weekly books you want, all great stuff. And if you use my link below, you show them that you care about everything we do here at Forge Comic News. So please, if you need anything, remember to click on my link down below. Hey guys, Chris here, interrupting the show real quick. Remember, if you want to show your support for Forge Comic News, head on down to patreon.com/Forge Comic News, where just $1 a month gets you access to our Slack channel, where we can talk comics all day and all night, and exclusive Patreon podcast that we're uploading very soon. A series of games that we play with all the great guests we have here on Force Comic News. You're going to get one of those every month, and just $1 a month gets it for you. So remember, that's the best way to show your support there and to help a growing community and to be a part of it with us. So everybody, thanks for your support, and on with the show.
And we're back. We just needed a break.
Yeah, it was a long episode, let me tell you. Comic book news. Alterna Comics is launching a partnership program for printing comics. It's going to be happening later this month. What do you think about that as a comic book writer? How do you feel?
It's really cool. It's a very cheap alternative to printing comics. I did a whole breakdown of it on our YouTube channel, so you can look there for it. But at the end of the day, it's just another cool thing that Alterna's doing to be creator friendly and help get more indie comics made.
Yeah, they're really helping out the little guys. You know, it's part of the problem of making a book is like, wow, what options do I have to get it printed after? And a lot of people, I hear mixed feelings about Kickstarter and how they just control everything. I don't know. I've seen all good things from Kickstarter from guests we've had on here. So, but this is cool. Because maybe, I mean, you could pitch anything you want to Alterna. So hopefully, you know, maybe it comes along with they'll print your comic too if they like your idea. So yeah, it's a cool company what they're doing over there. We're very fortunate to be working with them too. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. That's it for comic book news. But I guess we'll talk about some of the comics that we read over the last couple weeks, I guess. We could do that.
Oh boy, do I have a stack.
I didn't get to my comics this week because, yeah. But last week's got right here. Batman number 52 is 12 Angry Men with Batman. So that was it's interesting that he's trying to like basically everybody on the jury is convinced that Mr. Freeze murdered these women. He was found with his freeze suit on, so they're like, why would he be wearing his freeze suit? He wasn't allowed to wear it, blah blah blah. And he keeps like finding arguments that might prove that Batman was wrong, and the issue kind of ends with him saying, I can prove it, which I don't know if that means he's going to like reveal his identity, like I am Batman or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, you put Batman in a room with other people, or Bruce Wayne, I'm still going to read the book and it's still really good. And as they're doing flashbacks of him fighting different iterations of Mr. Freeze, they talk about the history of Batman and Mr. Freeze fighting together. One of the panels is the 60s Batman costume of Mr. Freeze, which was awesome to see.
That is awesome.
Yeah, so it was like cool. I tweeted at Tom King about it. I said, thank you for that or something. I don't know what I said, but it was exciting to see. I'm like, oh my God, it's like copy paste from 60s Batman. Death of the Inhumans number 2. You read that?
Oh, yes, I did.
What a book. It's Marvel, so I'll let you talk about it. But Black Bolt is pissed. Well, he was pissed.
Yeah, so there's like a whole him giving a speech and basically killing all these Kree. And what he's doing is just reciting all the names of the people that the Kree killed in their attack in the first issue. Yep. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was epic.
And
it wasn't so awesome.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, Donny Cates knows how to write, because as this is happening, the dialogue that Donnie's writing as kind of a narrator in the background about how this is seen in the future, like this is known as the Black Eulogy and all this other stuff, was just so good. Yeah. Got me intrigued throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, Black Bolt gets his throat slit by this dude.
You know, people can recover from getting their throat slit.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think so either. It's a comic book.
Because, well, not even just that. The first issue, they killed 2 characters very bluntly. You saw bodies. And this one, it just ends with a throat getting slit. And that could easily just be a way to kind of shut him up.
True.
So you can live through that.
Yeah. This guy seems to be an expert assassin, so maybe he only slices vocal cords, you know? Something so minor as that.
You say he's a vocal assassin?
I said, I gotta go. Yeah, so it was really interesting, and I mean, what a panel to end it on. That was like a saga panel, honestly.
Yeah, it was
he went full saga mode, where the way they end the book, where it's just like bleeding and his throat slit, and I'm like, wow, all right, Marvel, okay. Speaking of Donny Cates, he had 2 books last week. That was then there was the Cosmic Ghost Rider, number 2, which was awesome. Basically, Frank Castle, the Ghost Rider, the new Ghost Rider, says, hey, maybe I shouldn't kill baby Thanos. Let me raise him. And as he's waiting for his buddy Galactus to show up and prove to him that he went back in time to kill Thanos, the Watcher shows up. And the Watcher's like, and he's like, aren't you supposed to show up if there's like something bad about to happen? He's like, you're about to make the worst decision in the history of time and something like that. And he's like, what? I'm just going to raise Thanos on my own. He's like, and there it is. That's the decision. That's the decision you're going to make. And it's interesting because like, even he tells Galactus, like, I'm going to raise him. But then like, the Watcher's like, but do you not realize like your Frank Castle, the Punisher, is going to raise Thanos? And immediately when he makes that decision, he must create a new timeline in the future because we get greeted with a Guardians of the Galaxy from the future shows up and says, okay, here's basically they go back there because that's the decision he made to raise Thanos and created this awful future. So now we have a new Guardians of the Galaxy show up, which is awesome. It's like Hulk Duck, or Howard the Duck, but he's the Hulk.
Howard the Juggerduck.
Yeah, the Juggerduck. Yeah, that's right. He's the Juggernaut. The Juggerduck. And then we have Cable, right, at the front, the helm.
Yeah, Cable, and he has a Nova Corps belt buckle.
Your belt buckle, yeah. Who else?
We have Jubilee from some sort of future. We have a mix of Rocket Raccoon and Groot. Like it's Rocket's head on Groot's body. And different version of Miss Marvel with Captain America's shield.
Yeah.
In short, I want them to have their own book.
Yeah, for sure. Like, do it.
The line that you were discussing, it's my favorite line in comics. It is the Watcher standing there saying, I have come to witness the worst choice that any living being has ever made in the history of thought, and the immediate consequences therefore after. And then Frank goes, nah, you know what? I'm sick of all this. I'm going to raise this kid myself, and both you big-headed fucks can go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And there it is.
There it is. There it is.
Such a good line.
Yeah. It's awesome. That book's great. Donny Cates, man, can write. That boy can write. Yeah. And then I had, what else did we have here? I had Paper Girls come out. I have not caught up on that yet. Paper Girls, I need to like sit down and dissect because there's time travel involved and it gets screwy. Justice League #5 turns into Legion of Doom #5, which is basically Lex Luthor rounding up all the villains. It shows like how he approached them and got them to join the Legion of Doom. I thought that was pretty cool. I thought him traveling to the future to find out that like everybody worships Lex Luthor for what he started. It was pretty cool, and he was like, well, this isn't fair. I'm dead, and I never got to know all this happened. So now he goes back to the present, and he's like, I'm going to be a god to them. Like, this is awesome. So that was pretty interesting.
It's a pretty good jumping on point, too. It was a great kind of wrap-up of everything that's happened in the first 4 issues.
Yep, and they talk about like what happens in No Justice as well. Walking Dead 182 was kind of a filler episode.
Yeah,
that's about all I can say about that. There's a lot of not even like politics. It's just like
them touring the different areas.
Yeah, it honestly is a recap of how many communities they have because I completely forgot about like half of them. I was like, oh yeah, the kingdom's a place. There's really no reason to have the kingdom anymore because there's no more Ezekiel and no more Tiger. So it's like, why do I even care that this place exists? And then it kind of ends with like, oh, you're going to be trouble, Rick Grimes. And he's like, roll credits.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't know. I don't know.
This whole storyline's been a little dull, but
I've been thinking about just ending on issue 200, honestly, just like stopping. There's so many other books I could add to my pull list in place of this that would interest me more than. It's not that I haven't tried. I've hung on for like a year now. We've been in this rut for like a year. I feel like.
Yeah, it's been ever since the end of the whole Whisper War thing, it's kind of been he's trying something, and I don't think it's working.
For sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's what I had.
Oh boy, do I have some more.
This week I had Spider-Man 3 and the Kirkman book. But
Oblivion Song.
Oblivion Song. I just haven't read them yet.
So I'm going to do a quick fire. So Captain America #2, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I said last time that I've heard that he kind of spins his wheels. This issue is kind of proof of that. He kind of just goes over the same concepts over. The only thing is that it actually ends in a place that I can see a cool story coming. Mm-hmm. So I am excited, and it looks pretty. Adventures of Super Sons #1, a lot of fun, all ages kind of story, bringing back Damian Wayne Robin and Jonathan Kent Superboy. Takes place before all the events of Bendis's Superman, so they're still on Earth. And we get kind of the super team from another dimension, and it's a basically kid version of Legion of Doom. So it's got a female Captain Cold, called Ice Princess, Shaggy Boy instead of Shaggy Man, Rex Luthor. Let me pull up the page real quick so I'll make sure I get them all. Oh, Brainiac 6, Joker Jr., and Kid Deadshot.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to check that out now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I recommend it, and I recommend the old run too. I didn't talk about it a whole lot, but I really did enjoy it. Leviathan by Layman. This is his new Image book after Chew. Basically, not for me, not something I really enjoy, but if you like Pacific Rim and that kind of like kaiju robots, giant things destroying people, it's that kind of book with a ground story that really keeps you going throughout it. And the art is fantastic. Oh, let's see. Port of Earth #8, I got an early copy of, and it's awesome. Read Port of Earth. It ends on a note that I really think is going to be cool for the next storyline. And these 8 issues really set up the true conflict that they're going for. And Andrea Muti's art is amazing. If you've never seen Andrea Muti art, it's so good.
Who publishes that?
Image.
Oh, okay.
Amazing Spider-Man #3. Won't get too much into it because I didn't read it, but it's really good. But it's kind of talking about the whole back and forth of what happened at the end of issue 2 and how that affects the two people, and then ends with a cliffhanger like most comics.
Oh yeah.
That has Spider-Man doing something you wouldn't expect Spider-Man to do.
Kill someone.
No.
Oh.
Fantastic Four #1. This is the Dan Slott, Sarah Kelly book. Good, but there's no Fantastic Four in it.
Oh no.
So it's a lot of them like talking about, they're gone, and the whole conflict between Ben and Johnny Storm, and them kind of arguing. Ben ends up getting engaged in this issue, which is really cool. And they tell like an old story about the Fantastic Four, so technically they are in it, but it's like a story from years ago. And it ends with Reed in another dimension or another planet finding a way to give the signal that they're still alive. So it ends with a giant 4 in the sky. So Fantastic Four are coming back, but they're not in this issue. And then they kind of reinstate Doom as the controller of Latveria. Superman #2, really good. Talks a lot about the whole Phantom Zone thing, how they're in the Phantom Zone, how it affects the Justice League. Like all the Justice League members are in this issue, and they have a conversation about it. And you get a little backstory of the villain as well. And then I got Hey Kids Comics from Howard Chaykin. This is a retelling of old comic business stuff with names changed as to not hurt anybody, even though you know who everyone is. Like you can tell when it's Stan Lee or Jack Kirby.
Yeah. Oh, come on, yeah.
It's interesting. I enjoyed it as somebody who likes to see the background of all this. It definitely slams on Stan Lee a little bit, which is popular in this world.
Excelsior.
The only thing is I don't know who did the lettering, but the lettering, Ken Bruzenik. The lettering is like his captions are really good, but his bubbles are, I don't know, I can't do it.
It is too much.
It's not even too much, just the way they're designed is weird.
Yeah.
And then the one I really want to get into is Infinity War #1, so giant spoilers for this.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Spoilers.
This is the big event. I'll say, one, I was extremely happy because the Spot is in it, and the Spot should be in every comic ever.
Yep.
And two, like, we get into the whole Infinity Watch thing and what Doctor Strange wants to do with that and how he thinks they need to go about it. And then the person who, they find out that Thanos has been killed, the person who killed Thanos shows up, and we find out that it's Gamora.
Dun, dun, dun.
And Gamora then goes and battles all these people, and she ends up killing Peter Quill.
Star-Lord.
So, yeah, that was intense, and I can't wait for the next issue.
Awesome.
That's all I got. So, Mike, where can people find you on the internet?
Fortress Ricker. That's where they can find me on the Twitters. Where can they find you, Chris?
They can find me at Fortress Chris on the Twitters.
Wow.
And you know where they can find the show, Mike?
Where can you find the show if I had to look it up?
At FCN_official on Twitter or FortressComicNews.com. Remember, everybody, if you are watching this on YouTube, thumbs up down below, comment on this episode, let us know what you think, subscribe to the channel, all that fun stuff. And if you're listening to us on iTunes, 5-star review goes a long way, helps us reach more people.
Chris is a 5-star man.
Thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm. Anytime.
And always share with a friend.
Share.
So, that's all we have for today.
Believe in love after love. Just kidding. Not that type of share. The type of sharing, like, with your friends. See you later, guys.